Wow. A very good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am so excited because this is the first sort of workshop, conference, meeting that I've attended where AI is doing the moderation. And I'm so excited about it. And I think I'm going to insist that where I go anywhere to give remarks, they should use this AI. Amazing. Kongs to Mkutano. So our head of Mkutano and my very good friend, Mr. David Ofunji, the head FAO country representative, and my good friend, Dr. Antonio, all distinguished participants today in your varying capacities, colleagues in government, the media, all of you here present. I'm really, really pleased to be here at this second Agribusiness Mkutano Forum, and I really want to thank the organizers, Mkutano, for inviting me and NPA to be a part of this engagement. I think certainly the theme of this forum, cultivating resilience, agribusiness, and climate finance as a foundation for sustainable economic growth in Uganda, holds significant importance, considering the pivotal role of agriculture as the primary source of livelihood for our nation. Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, agriculture stands as a cornerstone for our economy, directly contributing approximately 24% of our GDP and being a primary source of livelihood and employment for about 61% of our population. So the potential inherent in the agriculture sector is vast and promises and very promising for Uganda with its favorable climate conditions, fertile soils, and abundant water resources. Mr. David mentioned the fact that as a country, we really are gifted by nature, and we have no excuse to really not challenge our thinking enough and see how we can undertake this climate-smart agriculture that can really form the basis for the agribusiness that we really want, that can propel us out of this sort of precarious situation we're in and ensure that every Ugandan can actually enjoy the kind of middle-income status we want and have envisioned in our Vision 2040. So these natural advantages really position Uganda to emerge as a leading agriculture producer, catering not only for our domestic needs, but also to international export markets. Now, realizing this potential we have with us is not going to take only one agency, only one ministry, only one sort of entity to achieve. We must work together. And really spaces like this that enable us to come together, to challenge our thinking, to debate, to really ask the right questions is the way to go. And I want to commend Mkutano really for continuing to really get us together. Because I must admit that as the planning authority, we could do more. We really could do more in bringing all stakeholders together to continuously debate, discuss, try out different models, find out what has worked, what hasn't worked, and get it right. And this is why I really put aside everything today and came here, because we are starting the thinking process of NDP IV. And we have made some progress, I must say, with NDP III, but so much happened when we launched NDP III that has not allowed us to achieve much. We had COVID, we had, you name it. I'm not going to go through all that. So different from giving you the history of what my colleague of NSSF has given you, and I must commend NSSF as well. They've come a long way to where they are. And I think it's one of those amazing institutions that is going to take this country to the next level. And you have our unwavering support. NDP III has pretty much not performed effectively. Again, with so many issues happening. And this is why this time round, as we focus on really articulating and locking in what sort of Uganda do we want in the next 5 years. We must get it right. We must ensure we discuss, we engage, we really tag together and tease out those priority, low-hanging fruits, doable interventions that can really get us to what we want to do as a country, particularly in the field of agriculture. And therefore, being here today, and I'm excited to listen and hear what all you experts have to say, because you're really doing the work on the ground. We sit in our offices, and I do go out and see, but I think we could do more in listening, in hearing what works, what doesn't work, what lessons can we learn, how do we move together as one nation, as friends of our nation, and see how we can turn around our agriculture and particularly promote agribusiness. So distinguished participants, I'm really pleased to share that the formulation process of our fourth 5-year National Development Plan spanning from 2025-26 to 2029-30 is currently underway, and its strategic direction has been approved by Cabinet. That doesn't mean that we have cast the concrete and nothing can change. The devil is in the detail in how we are actually going to implement what we have envisaged or envisioned per se. And this comprehensive plan serves as a visionary and strategic roadmap, reflecting our steadfast dedication to harnessing the substantial potential of agriculture as a cornerstone for sustainable development, economic prosperity, and societal advancement in Uganda. And as our nation embarks on a new growth trajectory aimed at achieving double-digit growth, His Excellency has challenged us and said, we can't have 5, 6, 7% growth. We have to really aim for double-digit. And we've committed that we are all going to work as one government to really tighten our belts. And we need the private sector. We really need you to get us. And we can, given the amazing resources we have as a country. We really can do this. We just need to really get it right. What are we going to prioritize? How are we going to get there? Who has to do what? And this is what I'm here to tell you about and ensure that we continuously really share thoughts and see how we can achieve this double-digit growth. And this is through other implementation. So that fourth National Development Plan will be the first plan that is really trying to achieve our double-digit growth. And our objective is really to elevate household incomes and employment opportunities, foster sustainable socioeconomic transformation. So this ambitious goal will be pursued through the following key objectives. Sorry, I have a bit of a cough. You'll bear with me. One is promoting sustainable growth in production, productivity, and value addition across key sectors like agriculture, industry, minerals, oil and gas, tourism, ICT, and financial services. I'm giving you the broader picture before I narrow down to agriculture and agribusiness in particular. We will be investing in human capital development throughout the education and skills, through education and skills training continuum, ensuring a skilled workforce capable of driving innovation, productivity and economic diversification. Thank you. Strengthening the capacity of the private sector to spark growth and generate employment opportunities. And we really want, and I was telling Mr. David earlier on, we want to do better this time around. Because I think, yes, quite a number of initiatives have been put in place to support the private sector in the country to drive growth, but we need to do more. And again, to really interact more and find out what has not worked, What could we do better? How best can particularly the local private sector be more engaged in ensuring that they spark growth? And we want to really have those hard decisions and hard engagements that will enable us make the critical decisions that can drive us forward. Developing and holding strategic and sustainable, developing and upholding strategic and sustainable infrastructure in pivotal areas such as transportation, housing, energy, water, industry, and ICT, but also reinforcing and strengthening good governance, security, and pivotal role of the state in fostering development. But central to our overarching vision is a steadfast commitment to modernize, transform, and revolutionize the agriculture sector, ensuring heightened productivity, resilience, and sustainability. By strategically investing in infrastructure, technology, and capacity building programs, our goal is to uplift smallholder farmers, boost productivity levels, and unleash the comprehensive potential of our agriculture assets. So much as I've mentioned all these other areas that we want to focus on as a country, I do want to emphasize the fact that agriculture is our priority. Agriculture is a priority of government, and we want to ensure that we commercialize and really build our transformation base on this amazing sector, as it were. And as we progress, increased agricultural production and enhanced productivity will serve as the cornerstone for job creation along the value chain, ultimately leading to a surge in export revenues derived from value-added agricultural products. This strategic approach will not only elevate the livelihoods of our farmers, but also contribute significantly to sustainable economic growth and prosperity of Uganda. Esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, in our unwavering pursuit to sustainably amplify agriculture production and productivity, the Fourth National Development Plan outlines strategic frameworks that encompass the following pivotal areas. And this is where I need you to listen carefully and see whether we seem to have got it right strategically. Are these the interventions that will drive the kind of agriculture we want? Have we missed out anything? Is there any aspect, perhaps, that you can then delve deeper in the conversations that follow to see how we enrich the NDP IV? One is enhancing appropriate research, fostering technological innovation, and promoting widespread adoption of cutting-edge agricultural practices. You will agree with me that we have many Ugandans engaged in agriculture, but the way in which we're doing it is a little bit, for lack of a better word, problematic. I'm happy we have our development partner from the Netherlands Embassy. They have claimed soil from the ocean, and they are producing amazing, in a very small piece of land. We're here with amazing vasts of land, amazing that we don't even need to use agriculture, but we're failing to get even that amount. So we must interact with them. We need to challenge our thinking more and see how can we do research? How can we foster innovation? How can we adopt cutting-edge agricultural practices that can get us to get the kind of productivity that will drive us forward? Number two is conducting comprehensive soil profiling and mapping initiatives to optimize land utilization and enhance agriculture yields. We do not want to gamble anymore. You throw in a maize piece here when actually that soil is better for tobacco, or maybe that's a wrong example. maybe better for House of Akedo, or you're using this land for, I don't know. So we want to deliberately and very systematically conduct a comprehensive soil profiling and ensure that we map areas in Uganda that are good for particular products. We need, and we are, and we will reinforce the agriculture extension system. We know that, again, our average farmers need support. In countries that have made it agriculturally, they have invested deliberately on strengthening agriculture extension. Uganda is no exception. We are not going to, just by the grace of God, get it right. We need to strengthen our agriculture extension, and this is one of the priorities as we move in NDP IV, to ensure that the agriculture sector and the ministry in particular is given the adequate resources and support to really strengthen, in collaboration with the Ministry of Local Government, so that we work as one government to strengthen our extension system, to disseminate knowledge, best practices, and technological advancements effectively to farmers across the nation. Sorry. Bear with me. Expanding access to agriculture financing, insurance services, which Dr. Antonio talked about. We do want to really work with you even more strongly, Dr. Antonio, because FAO has had several models that have worked in other countries, and we have to get it right in Uganda as well. And we can, and we want to, and we will. Expanding access to agriculture financing, and this is where the climate financing comes from. Right now, colleagues in finance are in the spring meetings in Washington. We are in very high-level discussions with Professor Jeffrey Sachs, and he's working with us at NPA to really get us to understand how to get access to climate financing. So the whole of government is working to ensure that we really avoid as many mistakes as possible, to see how we can transform agriculture and ensure that we do proper agribusiness that will really pluck out most of our population out of poverty. So expanding access to agriculture finances is one of the key strategic interventions that we're looking into NDP IV, to foster fostering the adoption of contract farming arrangements, for instance, to mitigate risks and enhance market linkages, for farmers. We're also enhancing accessibility to high-quality seeds. You will agree with me, ladies and gentlemen, that one of the biggest challenges the farmers are facing currently is access to quality seed. And we want to ensure that the Ministry of Agriculture is empowered, but also that the private sector that is certified to get into this space really do it right. So enhancing accessibility to high-quality seeds is a priority of government going forwards in the agriculture subsector, planting materials and agriculture inputs to bolster crop yields and agriculture productivity, increasing the availability of agriculture mechanization services to streamline farming operations, improve efficiency, enhance productivity is also a key priority. The Ministry of Agriculture imported quite a number of tractors last year, but they still are set on importing several more, but working with the private sector. Again, we've had initiatives of a number of companies assembling tractors in the country, but more efforts are being done to ensure that farmers are really given support to mechanize agriculture. And this is one of the key strategic goals that we want to achieve in the next 5 years. More and more agriculture in this country is going to be undertaken in a mechanical way, and we get rid of the hand hoe where possible. Increasing, or rather promoting, adoption of small-scale irrigation schemes to bolster agricultural production and resilience is another factor, especially in the face of fluctuating climatic conditions. accelerating the development of multipurpose and bulk water infrastructure, encouraging the judicious use and application of fertilizers, investing in state-of-the-art post-harvest handling, storage facilities, and advanced agriculture technologies to minimize post-harvest losses and ensure quality agriculture produce, empowering farmer organizations and cooperatives. This is an area we haven't also quite performed well, but we are deliberately and intentionally this time round ensuring that we organize farmers and strengthen cooperatives to ensure that there is more knowledge sharing and collective bargaining power. Expanding access to affordable veterinary drugs, combating counterfeit products, and ensuring health and well-being of livestock is another area. Promoting the production of high-quality livestock and aquaculture feeds to bolster animal health. Strengthening pest and disease management strategies is another area. Enhancing market access by implementing certification programs, adhering to international standards, issues of traceability, and so forth, but also advocating for organic farming practices to promote responsible and sustainable energy use, conservation, advocating for organic farming practices to promote responsible and sustainable energy use, conservation of natural resources, and facilitating access to premium markets of agricultural products, but also prioritizing food security by promoting sustainable agricultural practices. Now, these strategic interventions really underscore our commitment to fostering a vibrant and sustainable agriculture sector to drive economic prosperity, food security, and livelihood enhancement for the people of Uganda. This NDP IV places strong emphasis on a holistic development of the agriculture value chain, recognizing the interconnectedness of its various components in delivering high-quality products for the market. And I'll give an example of coffee, which is our highest foreign exchange earner. The productivity and production of coffee currently is constrained by the prevalence of smallholder farmers employing traditional farming methods, limited land per farmer, a sparse number of trees per hectare, resulting in suboptimal yields, at least if you compare with countries like Vietnam, which got their coffee from here incidentally. Furthermore, critical support services like research and development, entrepreneur training, and reliable weather information are lacking, further impeding the potential for increased productivity in the sector. So by bolstering and strengthening each of these segments, and this is what we want to do for each value chain, segment it to see where are the challenges in the value chain for coffee. Like I said, looking at the small farmer, the kind of acreage, the kind of commodity they are producing, the kind of tree they have, and in a systematic manner, trying to intervene and see how we really strengthen productivity at the grassroots level. So a pivotal focus of NDP IV will revolve around fostering, again, value addition in agriculture, a critical driver of economic development, which talks largely to the subject of the discussion today in agribusiness. Value addition encompasses a spectrum of activities aimed at enhancing the worth of agricultural products and services through various means, including, but not limited to, sorting, grading, packing, processing, branding, certification, preservation, nutrition enhancement, and quality standardization, to mention but a few. And by integrating the value addition practices into the standard value or the agricultural value chain, we shall enhance and we aim at enhancing the value and marketability of Uganda's agricultural products ultimately leading to increased benefits and gains for producers, improving household incomes, and eventually the quality of life for our people. And you will recall His Excellency of late has really been very, very resolute and vehement about enabling Ugandans to really desist from exporting raw commodities, to get into value addition and engage in more agribusiness. And this is what I really would like, the private sector to get into and see what is it we need to do to give the private sector push to get into real value addition. What is it we're not doing right? I want to continuously repeat that. You must help us in government to really understand what is it we're not getting and how we can support the private sector to lead growth in this country. So to realize the transformative potential, and I'm really concluding here, of value addition in agriculture, the NDP IV outlines a strategic framework comprising, again, I'll highlight quite a number of elements. One is promoting agro-processing initiatives along critical value chains to enhance value and market appeal of agricultural products. We're picking a few commodities this time. I think we put in too many commodities in the NDP III, and this time round there will be very few that the country and government particularly wants to focus on and ensure that we get into value addition and support the private sector to get it right. Enhancing market access through the implementation of certification programs, adherence to quality standards, and robust traceability mechanisms. You will see increasingly the Minister of Agriculture identifying some lead farmers, some lead business individuals to really focus on traceability and ensure that we capitalize on the niche markets as we go into export. Establishing export quarantine facilities and certification laboratories to ensure compliance with international standards. Investing in state-of-the-art post-harvest handling storage facilities and advanced technologies to minimize losses and maintain product quality, but also increasing funding for research. And you'll see this in the budget that will be read in June, that more funding is going to be put in research and development initiatives aimed at enhancing value addition in the agriculture sector, but also establishing livestock and agricultural export promoting zones or processing zones, as well as free zones to boost agriculture exports, attract investments, and spur economic growth. So by implementing all these strategic interventions, we aim to unlock the full potential. Let me emphasize the fact that, of course, there are some hindrances, and this is the risks that I would like you to talk about also in this conversation today. We've set the goal of what we want to achieve, but we still have quite a number of setbacks. And I think a conversation like this would be even more useful if you help us come up with practical solutions of what the risks will be and what we need to do to avoid the risks that will prevent us from achieving what we want to do. So as I conclude, it's imperative for us to embrace the opportunities that agribusiness and climate finance, and I haven't really touched much on climate finance because my colleagues did, in offering the drive to sustainable economic growth in Uganda. Collaboration among all stakeholders, government on the one hand, private sector, development partners, civil society, all Ugandans, I think is very essential to mobilize the critical resources and enhance capacity and implement innovative solutions to tackle the intertwined and interrelated challenges of climate change and agribusiness development. And by working together, by discussing and debating and engaging together, I think we can then transform the vision of our very, very prosperous and equitable and sustainable Uganda that we want, and ensure that no one is left behind. I want to wish all of us a very good and exciting conversation today. And I want to once again express my gratitude and appreciation to the organizers of this conference and to commit as NPA. We certainly want to be a part of this. We want to ensure that where every Ugandan, every friend of Ugandan, every key person that wants to see this country transform, that conversation we want to be a part of as NPA. So, Mr. David, you can count on NPA to be your partner in progress, and I want to really wish us all a very productive conversation, and I'm waiting for the outcomes of this conference in ways in which it can enrich our NDP IV and ensure that together we really transform this country to the middle income status that is real and that every Ugandan feels, and that we can really have a bright future for our country. Thank you for listening to me, for God and my country.
Professor, thank you so much. Can we please give another round of applause? There's only so much you can do with AI, so I asked for a microphone, and primarily because we try and do things a little bit differently. Before these nuggets are lost into the, we just needed to, Antonio and I were taking notes frantically, and obviously we will effect the action ledger later, and thank you for the invitation. We will present with you those conclusions. You made some key points on soil profiling. I think Dr. Antonio has some thoughts around that. And just to bring to bear the fact that the value chain conversation is something that has segued through all our convenings, and there's an active engagement, certainly with FAO and AGRA, to identify maybe 2 or 3 that we can pilot and make sure that we take it all the way. So I think as the rapporteur takes notes, that's what we'll profile, and we'll share it across the team. I don't know if you have a reaction, Dr. Antonio?
Thank you. It's always inspiring to hear you. But as NPA, you duly set what are the clear goals that collectively we should achieve. I've taken a number of important and relevant as your partner in this particular sector. We should continue to work both with Maif and others to ensure how we deliver on the promises of the new development plan. I did take some notes on some areas that we've been working to see how we deliver on the selective value chains, but also on the soil dimension, the suitability maps, looking at ways that we have infrastructure that support farmers to apply the resources on the correct ways, because your country you know, the nature is important. So as agriculture, we know that we contribute also to 30% of the global emission. So as we promote the development of this sector, we have to ensure that we do it right to protect the environment. So in terms of the inputs, in terms of the suitability of our soils, but also of our agroecologic systems, it's important that we advise the farmers properly to ensure that we minimize the overall impact. But thank you, and we look forward to continue this collaboration and discussion.
Thank you, Doctor.